Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. 2 has just been announced. Fight goes down on the 2nd of September and it takes place on Sky Sports pay-per-view. Now, I for one won't be buying this fight, however, I do have some interest in it. First and foremost, for Chris Eubank Jr., his career is on the line. First time around, of course, he got stopped in the 4th round against Liam Smith, and he was favourite going into that fight. He was a bookie's favourite. Most people were picking Eubank on points to win. However, it never worked out that way. He ended up getting stopped in round 4 in a fairly conclusive fashion, which surprised a lot of people. I know people were picking Liam Smith, but nobody was expecting an early stoppage. So the manner of that fight and how it ended was quite shocking. And it will certainly take some coming back from Chris Eubank Jr. And yeah, losing again to Liam Smith, you would really struggle to see how Chris Eubank Jr. could rebound from that. Would Eddie Hearn have enough shame to still try to make Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr.? Maybe. I mean, it is boxing after all, you know. Yeah, in all likelihood, if Chris Eubank Jr. loses this fight, he retires. And even for Liam Smith at 34 years old, if he's to lose to Chris Eubank Jr. now after winning the first fight in the manner in which he did, where does he go from here, you know? Because I don't think Liam Smith's going to stick around for domestic fights or anything along those lines. So yeah, a lot on the line for both guys. And for me at least, that's where the intrigue comes from. On the surface, I'm not really it's not a fight I've exactly got set in the calendar and I'm counting down the days, but it's a reasonable fight. To me at least, it gives me some intrigue going into it. Certainly not enough to pay for it, but enough to watch it, if you catch my drift. And yeah, like I say, both guys have a lot on the line here, particularly Chris Eubank Jr. I'll be interested to see whether he can bounce back psychologically from the last fight, because it was damaging. You know, against Billy Joe Saunders, he could take some credit from that performance, considering how strong he finished. And even against George Groves, where he was thoroughly outboxed, he showed good toughness and stuck in there, but getting stopped like that against Liam Smith was the most devastating loss in his career. So yeah, psychologically, I think it will take a lot to come back from for Chris Eubank Jr. But you know, he has enough motivation, because I'm sure if he wins this fight, the Conor Benn fight will be talked about again, which obviously is a massive money fight, whether we like it or not as hardcore boxing fans. So he's got plenty of reason to really take this seriously and put 100% in, but we will see. And it's interesting because prior to this fight being announced, it's a bit of a segue, but prior to this fight being announced, the talk of the town was Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, that they was going to go ahead with that fight. Now, if you've been following boxing news on social media, etc., there was supposed to be some sort of ruling on Conor Benn last week. I believe last Friday. That never came. Maybe I'm putting 2 and 2 together, but has Team Benn had some bad news? Or something like that? I'm not sure. Maybe the investigation or the hearing is going to be prolonged. I don't know, but it's interesting that this fight's been made all of a sudden, whereas Eubank versus Benn was actually being talked about a few weeks ago. With some people even suggesting that it was quite close. And also, recently, Conor Benn has been removed from the WBC rankings. So, am I putting 2 and 2 together here? Has there been some sort of bad news for Team Benn that hasn't been revealed to the public? Hence why Eubank is going down this route, because it's really, aside from Conor Benn, it is the only fight for him. He can't really move on from this, quite frankly, so there's that to consider as well. But yeah, going into it, I actually think it will be competitive. I think most people see Liam Smith winning comfortably again, considering what he did last time around. I'm not so sure. I think it's going to be competitive. But I'd imagine Liam Smith's a favourite with the bookies going into this fight. But I think Eubank Jr has a chance if you can stay out range, keep moving, keep popping the jab, and picking his spots as and when, and being cerebral instead of, allowing Liam Smith just to apply pressure, backing up to the ropes, backing up to the corner, then getting caught and knocked out like last time around. I have a feeling that you'll see a more mobile version of Chris Eubank Jr. in this fight, and I could see a scenario where he tries to steal this fight off the jab. And yeah, we'll see. It could be interesting. And funnily enough, this gives me like 2018 vibes. There's heavy rumours that Fraser Clark will fight Dave Allen on the undercard. Jesus Christ. Dave Allen on pay-per-view in 2023. What has the world come to? But it is what it is. What do you make of this fight? Do you believe Chris Eubank Jr. can avenge his defeat? Or do you see this fight going similar to the first fight? I think Liam Smith is obviously the favourite, but I don't think it's going to end as dramatically as the first fight. I will say that right now. I'm not really sure on who I'm picking yet, but yeah, I'll be surprised if we see another early stoppage. Unless Chris Eubank Jr.'s chin is completely gone, we shall see. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy, peace.